Hello and welcome to another new episode of Learning Simplified. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about the two-way data binding used in AngularJS. Now, what is this two-way data binding? Without any further explanation, let's have a demonstration of it. We can see that this is a checkbox right over here. So if we now enter anything into it, we can see that the magic starts. The same thing is now written in the following paragraph that can be seen at the bottom of this individual input type. So whatever be the input, for say if we now write here this apple, we can see that the same thing is been written here. If we enter any definite name, it can be seen to right over here. So this is the two-way data binding used in AngularJS that we are about to learn in this particular tutorial. Stay tuned. Okay, now let's refresh our browser first and let's head back to the original point from where we are about to start this tutorial. So we can see that this is a clear browser without having any kind of two-way data binding inputs into it. Now if we head back to our text editor in the very first case, in our previous tutorial so far, we are aware of the model and the data binding thing into our custom script.js that we had created in this respect, and we can see that previously we had this scope object right over here with which we had attached a model name such as message, and we assigned some value into it like this one, hello world. There it goes. And in the next case, this is the $scope that we had created into our controller function. This is the exact same parameter which has been used right over here. It is practically an object and we are attaching some kind of model names. And with this entire thing, we are practically attaching some kind of data. This is known as the data attachment to the $scope object. Now, if we head back to our index.html and in an order to get access to what we had done into our custom JS, all we did here, we just used this expression so far, where we will be practically using the same exact model name. Have a look into this. This is the model name here. Press Ctrl C to copy it and Ctrl V to paste it right over here. Now, if we head back to our project and reload, we can see that the value which is been assigned against this model, it is now displayed into our HTML template. This is the thing. So if we wish to make any kind of changes right over here, like if we wish to change this last word, all we need to do, we need to head back to our custom script.js, where into this individual place, we will be now making this change here. And if we now press Ctrl S and reload, we can see that the same exact change is being reflected into the HTML browser that we are practically using here. But this is not the proper thing that we wish. We wish, in the previous case, to make any kind of changes into the view section. Have a closer attention into this. If we had a wish to make any change in the view, all we had to do previously, we had to get back to the model and we had to update the same right over here. But what about if we wish that we will be making some kind of changes into the view, that means over here, and the same changes will be reflected. This is known as the two-way data binding. a definitive ng-directive is used in this purpose, which is known as ng model. And with the aid of that ng model, we will be able to update our model just by updating the view into our template. So in this case, in the first case, let's know what is this directive ng model. So let's now head back to Google, and here we will be searching in for this ng model in AngularJS, and we can see that this is the AngularJS API where each and every directives are being specified, are being defined here. So this is the ng model, and here it goes. This is the definition of an ng model. So ng model is a directive that binds an input or a select or a text area. So these are some form elements that can be used along with the ng directive, and we can update the model with the aid of the view, with the aid of this ng model directive. So what it is doing here, it is binding the view into the model which other directives such as input, text area or select require. So we will be now seeing how to do it, how to use these form elements into the view to update the model, to sync the model with the view. Let's head back to our text editor, and in the first case, all we are about to do, we will be just commenting out this thing here that we had created previously. There it goes. Now all we are about to do, we will now create an input field. So in the first case, we may set here the label that says enter a value. And in the next case, we will be using an input type which will be text. So some particular form elements like the input type text or select or text area, all those things are needed in order to work with the ng model properly, to function it properly. So I'll be selecting here this input type text, and in the next case I will be using this ng model directive which I will be naming as, for say, food or whatever it is, sports. So I have just created this ng model right over here. In this case, what I'll be naming it as, you have entered. So I will be using the same model name that I have created regarding this respect. So I'll be using this sports, the same model name that I had used along with it. So let's paste it. There it goes. So what will be happening next? If we press Ctrl S and if we now head back to our project and reload, we can see that a input text field is being created here along with a label, and so far there is no such thing been written right at the bottom of this entire text box. So if we now enter for, say, Rahul, and you can see that the moment I'm entering something into this text field, it is practically being written right below at this individual paragraph element. So this is the syncing of the model along with the changes which is being made into the view. All it is going to do, let's head back to our text editor, and here this is the model name which has been created right into the HTML browser template, and this model name is by default being attached with the scope object. So whenever we are giving some input to this individual text field here, the same model is now updated with the value that we had entered, and that is why whatever be the input right over here, like if we insert something like banana, we can see that the exact same value is being updated into this individual paragraph element. So this is known as the two-way data binding, where instead of updating the view with the changes in the model, we are right now able to update the model with a proper update in the view section. So this is the view section, this is the HTML browser template, and instead of banana, if we now enter anything like an elephant, we can see that the same exact thing is now being written into the paragraph element. So we are practically capable to update our model along with any change made into the view. So this is it up to this far, up to this tutorial. Hope you guys have liked this tutorial. If you guys have liked this tutorial, then do not hesitate to hit that red subscribe button down below. Hope to see you guys in our next tutorial. Till then, bye.